Hi there, this is Darla. Welcome to Shift the Field TV. When I host retreats and events, we put something on the agenda that we call church in our agenda for short, which is basically space for when I have something to say that I just need to say and I'm going to preach it, right? Like I have to say it. So what I've learned is when I'm on retreat and I'm hosting a group, this inevitably happens where I've got something to say. Well, today I've got something to say, and here's the message. You can agree or disagree. You can receive it or not receive it. I'm not saying it's the truth, but I would love for you to try it on. So here's the message. There are more of us than you think. There are more of us than you think. Who are us, and what does that mean? So over the last weekend, I had some friends visiting and we were talking about the state of the world and various things that are happening in our world this year and our role in helping with the shifting of the energy field on the planet, and from the healthcare industry to the state of our environment, and how are we going to have this planet host the humans and be sustainable, for example. And we talked about the energy required to shift that, right? Like what percent of humans need to be operating at a certain level of consciousness to have the rest of the energetics of the planet in train to a higher vibration, so we start making different choices and essentially heal this planet that we've kind of made a mess of. So we're having this deep conversation. And one of the things I noticed is that people continued to bring forward the doom and gloom, which is, there's a lot of energetically on the planet right now, as well as the scarcity of people like us, people who are committed to living differently, who are committed to aligning with their truth, who are committed to making space for others to be in their truth and live in peace and harmony and all of that. The conversation kept going back to a scarcity of people. Some people were insistent that, well, nobody gets me. The way that I see things, nobody else sees. People don't understand what I'm talking about. I can, have answers for things, but nobody wants to hear them. Raise your hand if that's ever been you. Here's the message I kept getting on my heart is there's more of us than we think. There's more of us than we think. And we might look around the world and we see spirituality, consciousness, these conversations showing up in many different formats, whether it's one that aligns with us or one that's a little bit different, from like fast food spirituality, right? The crystal craze and everybody buying oracle cards and crystals and things like that, to biohacking and the various things on that end of the spectrum, and we may judge and say that's not good or right or whatever, but we have to admit that consciousness raising ideas are becoming more prevalent. People may not see it the way you see it, but things are shifting, things are happening. The other thing we want to remember is we see what we believe. We see what we believe. So if we believe nobody understands me and I'm ahead of my time, or people don't get it, people don't want to hear it, right? Yes, that may be true about the mass consciousness right now, that most people aren't in the same types of conversation you're in. But I promise there are more people than there used to be, and likely more people than you think. If you have a filter of people don't get me, you're going to attract people who don't get you. And then you get to be right that people don't get you. And meanwhile, you're not joining forces with the other people that actually do see the world the way you do and want to shift it just as much as you do, want to align and partner and collaborate and support, talk about and energetically and emotionally support this transformation that we're in. So there are more of us than you think. I'm curious, what do you think about this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? It's just a conversation, and I'd love to know what would change in your life If you knew, and you knew that you knew that you knew deep inside that there were more people like you than you think, more people like you than different, more people who want to engage in the conversations that you want to engage in, it's just that most people think that they can't or they shouldn't, and they're still in the closet about it. And you could be the one to lead that conversation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm not holding hard and fast to this. Perhaps I have rose-colored glasses and choosing to see the people who are moving toward a higher consciousness on this planet, but it sure is making me happier. So I'm curious, what do you see? Let me know. If this is helpful or interesting, please share, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.